Nora's journey from struggle to hope. My name is Nora. I am 34 years old, a single mother to 3 incredible children, Ava, Ellie and Zoe. They are my heart, my reason for waking up each morning, my everything. Life has tested me in ways I never imagined, but I've learned that love, resilience and unexpected kindness can carry you through the darkest times. My story is one of struggle, loss, and a miracle I never saw coming. A childhood of loss. I grew up in a small, weathered apartment in a quiet town, raised by my grandmother after my parents passed in a car accident when I was just 10. My grandmother was kind but frail, and by my teens I was caring for her, cooking, cleaning, making sure she took her meds. We scraped by on her pension, and I learned early that life doesn't hand out favors. I dreamed of becoming a teacher, picturing myself in a classroom, inspiring kids to chase their own dreams. But those plans faded when my grandmother's health declined, and I dropped out of high school to work odd jobs, waitressing, cleaning houses, whatever kept us afloat. When she passed away, I was 19, alone and adrift. A fleeting love. At 21 I met Caleb, a charming mechanic with a quick laugh and promises of a better future. We fell in love, got married and had Ava, then Ellie, then Zoe. But when Zoe was just 6 months old, Caleb changed. He grew distant, then left one night without a word. No calls, no support, no explanation. He vanished, leaving me to raise 3 girls on my own. I had no family, no savings, no degree. Just a fierce determination to give my daughters a life better than mine. The weight of survival. We lived in a cramped, drafty apartment, the kind where the heater barely works and the rent always loomed. I took a job as a delivery driver, renting an old van each month. The work was grueling, long hours navigating unfamiliar streets, delivering packages to doorsteps in all weather. Some customers were kind, offering tips or a smile. Others slammed doors or complained about delays. I drive through exhaustion, illness or heartache, knowing every dollar went to food, clothes or keeping a roof over our heads. My girls were my strength. At night I'd tuck them into their shared bed, watching their peaceful faces. Ava 8 with her curious eyes, Ellie 6 always giggling, Zoe 3 clinging to her stuffed bear. I'd kiss their foreheads, whispering, "I love you, I'll make things better." I wanted them to have dreams, opportunities, a childhood free from the weight I carried. A devastating accident. One freezing winter night, I was driving the girls home from a rare treat, a trip to the library. The roads were slick with ice, the sky heavy with snow. Ava sat up front reading a book while Ellie and Zoe chatted in the back. "Mama, it's so cold," Zoe whimpered, her tiny voice breaking my heart. "We'll be home soon, baby," I promised, cranking the van's weak heater. The streets were nearly empty, the streetlights flickering. My hands gripped the wheel, knuckles white from the cold and nerves. Suddenly, headlights blinded me. A deafening crash followed, metal screeching, glass shattering. Pain exploded in my chest and everything went dark. When I woke, I was in a hospital bed, surrounded by beeping monitors and the sharp smell of antiseptic. My body ached, my ribs throbbed, my head pounded. A nurse with gentle eyes leaned over. "You're awake, try not to move," panic surged. "My girls, Ava, Ellie, Zoe, where are they?" My voice was hoarse, barely a whisper. She touched my arm. "They're here, safe in the waiting room, minor bruises, but they're okay." Relief flooded me, tears spilling. I need to see them. Moments later, my daughters rushed in, their small arms wrapping around me. "Mama," they cried, their voices a mix of fear and joy. I held them as tightly as my aching body allowed, sobbing with gratitude. A crushing blow. The doctor entered, his face grave. "Nora, you've got a fractured collarbone and a sprained ankle. You'll need surgery and weeks to recover." My heart sank. "But I have to work, I'm all they have." He shook his head. "Rest is non-negotiable." Then came the worst blow. The van I rented was totaled and I'd collided with a luxury SUV. The owner was demanding $15,000 for repairs. I had nothing, no savings, no way to pay. The weight of it crushed me. I buried my face in my hands, my girls clinging to me, their quiet sobs echoing mine. How would we survive this? A glimmer of hope. The next morning, a social worker visited. Nora, your story's getting attention online. Someone shared it, a single mom working tirelessly now facing this. I blinked, confused. People are donating to help you and your girls. I couldn't believe it. Strangers, reading about our accident, our struggles, were sending money. It felt like a lifeline, but I was too overwhelmed to process it. 2 days later, a woman walked into my hospital room. She was in her 40s with warm brown eyes and a calm presence. "I'm Sarah," she said, sitting beside me. "I heard about you through a local charity. I want to help." I stared, wary. "Why me?" She smiled softly. "Because I was a single mom once too. I know what it's like to feel alone." She handed me a basket of blankets and clothes for the girls, then said, "We've covered your medical bills and there's more." I shook my head, tears welling. "I don't know how to thank you." A new home, a new start. A week later, as I recovered at home on crutches, Sarah and her team returned. They drove us to a quiet street where a small, charming house stood, white picket fence, a tiny garden, windows glowing with light. "This is yours," Sarah said. "No rent, no mortgage, a fresh start." My knees buckled. I sank to the ground, sobbing. Ava, Ellie, and Zoe hugged me, their eyes wide. "Is this our home, Mama?" Ellie whispered. I nodded, choking out, "Yes, baby, it's ours." We walked inside, the girls running through the rooms, laughing. For the first time in years, I felt hope. Chasing a dream. Over coffee one day, Sarah asked, "Nora, what's your biggest dream?" I hesitated, then admitted, "I wanted to be a teacher, but life got in the way. Now I'd love to open a daycare, somewhere safe for kids like mine, where parents can work without worry." She nodded thoughtfully. "Let's make it happen." Months later, with Sarah's support and community donations, I opened Little Stars Daycare. It was a cozy space filled with toys, books, and laughter. I hired local moms, trained them, and watched children light up as they played. I wasn't just a driver anymore. I was a businesswoman building something meaningful. My girls thrived, their smiles brighter in our new home. Ava started writing stories, Ellie painted murals for the daycare, and Zoe danced through the halls, her bear in tow. A lesson in kindness. I'll never forget Sarah and the strangers who lifted us up. They taught me that kindness exists, that miracles can happen when you least expect them. I started with nothing but love for my daughters. Now I have a home, a purpose, and a family that's stronger than ever. Thank you for listening to my story, dear subscribers. Your support means the world. If this touched you, like, comment, and subscribe for more stories of hope and resilience. Never give up. Kindness and faith can change everything.